Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Syahril Nizar Adnan. My matric number 2020584081. Okay, first of all, I want to introduce my group member, Encik Muhammad Fazli and Encik Muhammad Nabil Encik Muhammad Nabil Abdul Jamal Nasir. Okay, next. Okay, the title of the article review is the leadership and organizational change management in unpredictable. Okay, we get from the journal International Transaction Journal of Engineering, Management and Applied Science Technology. The source we get from the Department of Business Administration, College of Business, University of Jeddah, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Okay, this article officially in 15 September 2020 officially accepted lah. Okay, next. Okay, the authors of the article first is Dr. Maksud Hussein Junaidi, Assistant Professor at Business College Assistant Professor at Business College, Supplies Change Management Department, Jeddah University, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Okay. Second is Dr. Muhammad Miralam, Vice Dean of the Postgraduate Study and Scientific Research at the University of Jeddah, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And Dr. Vikram Jit, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration, College of Business, University of Jeddah, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Okay, next. The article background. First purpose. The main factor underneath of change is internal and external factor. Second is inevitable with dynamism being a key feature from the survival of any business entity. Okay, third is the process of change is a complex process and many times it gives negative result due to the unexpected resistance from the different source. Okay, next. Okay, the objective. First is efficiency of leadership and management could are the main factor involved in the process of change. Second is the organizational change being aligned with organizational goal while also being complemented by plan strategy. Okay, next. Okay, the problem statement we get from the COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected organizational. First is explore strategy that are required to retain and develop employer brands. Second, highlight leadership strategy that work in uncertain business environment. Third is a suitable change management model during unprecedented situation. Okay, next we continue with the Mr. Muhammad Fazli.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Syahril Nizar. So I turn on my mic now. Okay, so now we are going to proceed on the methodology of the research or this article review that was made by the three authors that was introduced earlier during our presentation by Mr. Syahril. So there are basically two models being used, or we can say advice that can be used on this kind of change in organizations due to pandemic situations. So there are two of these models, which are Lewin's model of change in 1947 and Kotter's 8-step change model in 1996. So moving on to the slide. Okay, these are the process on the model of change by Lewin. So basically there are three stages of this process. Unfreeze is the first, change the second, and refreeze is the third. So for the first phase, which is unfreeze, ensures that employees are ready for change, meaning that they are trying to ensure that the employees of the organizations are ready for the change based on the situation of pandemic they are currently facing. And second, during the change, the organization would like to execute the intended change that they would like to implement. And during the refreeze phase, when the change is being implemented, they would like to ensure that change becomes permanent, meaning the change is being sustained, whether temporarily or permanent. So this process, which involves 3 stages, are the basic process introduced by Lewin. And we shall move on to the next process, the next model, which is by Cotters in 1996, which he introduced the 8-step change model. Okay, so basically this step was derived from Lewin's. You can see in the figure that we are showing in the slide. So there are basically 3 phases, which when being explained, it is more or less the same, but a bit systematic and simplified the process. So the first one is increased urgency, meaning leaders in the organization need to ensure that there are presence of urgency and needs to ensure that the members of the organization are aware of the need of urgency to change in order for them to create a climate for change. And then during the second phase, build the guiding team, meaning leaders would try to form a group of teams that can execute this change, meaning it cannot be done by one person. There is a need for a team to execute this change. Thus, the team needs to get the right vision on the purpose why the change needs to be made. Okay, so when it goes to the second phase, which is engaging and enabling the whole organization to understand more on the need for the change before the change is being executed before. Okay, so all of this can be engaged and enabled by ensuring that communication channels are very proper to avoid miscommunication, and empowering actions that is going to be made by creating short-term wins or objectives during the change phase. So during the third phase, implementing and sustaining change, the organization will try to ensure that the changes that they have implemented can be sustained and benefits that they are gaining, the organization are gaining from the change are being ensured to be obtained. Okay, so for example, in this change and also the first, what we can say on the first phase, which is from number 1, 2, and 3, we can say that during the strike of pandemic of COVID-19, all organizations in Malaysia mostly, okay, are starting to realize the urgency for change. For they should know that the normal work process are no longer can be practiced. For the organizations, members of organizations are required to isolate from one another in order to spread this spread of COVID-19 in order to stop it. So when they are engaging and enabling the whole organization in the second phase, the organization are now trying to come up with the best solution that they can try to implement when the change is being implemented. For example, we can take one, which is work from home. Okay, so on the third phase, during this execution or implementation phase, when employees and workers of an organization are working from home, so the organization would like to ensure that it is being maintained, that they can still work, and they can still continue to produce, and companies would still be able to sustain their business while at the same time trying to, at their very best, gain profit and benefit from it. Okay, so that's basically an example that we can take. So now we shall move on to the next slide on findings. So I shall hand over this to our next presenter, Mr. Nabil. So Mr. Nabil, you may please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fazli. Okay, about findings. These findings are from the article reviews. It is about leadership of managing change. Leadership and workforce as source of competitive advantage. Leadership strategies for people retention and development. Leadership strategies for enhancement of employees' commitment. Linking leadership approach to HPW level. Intellectual leadership tools for change management. The other one is resilient leadership action in pandemic situations. Empathic leadership, prioritizing and decentralizing leadership action, and also decisive leaderships. Next. Okay, summary. the essential for a leader to be effective and having the competency required in leading change are suitable change models, effective communication process, building effective relationship, investing in people, putting purpose at the core, focus on sustainability, and more collaboration. Okay, next. Okay, that is all from us. Thank you very much.